Reflections on the day, man. What's up?
Yeah, you, Dave, invited me along today to come in as a kind of silent partner to see what the kindness offensive was about. And you know, like I hope you don't mind me saying on video, I was obviously very skeptical. I'm very skeptical about everyone I meet that wants to do anything. And I was looking at your website, and there's a lot of not sponsorship, but a lot of big logos from corporations. And I was like, ooh, these are the bad guys. And so I thought I'd come along today, not wear the uniform, and just watch it. But something happened to me today. I think the best way to say it is just, without sounding like a hippie, but my heart melted a bit when I suddenly saw what you guys are doing, getting these things from the big corporations, and on a very simple level, all you're doing is being very kind, and with the forgotten in the Western society, the elderly, and you can look in their eyes and they really, really appreciate what you're doing, and they're put in these homes and they're forgotten, and then you guys come along and you're singing live music and you're giving gifts. And there's a lady in there, Rose, she's 88, and I gave her a hug, and she's so happy that you guys are all here. And at the last place they were saying, when will we see you again? So I just want to say, I get it, I get what you guys are doing, and it runs alongside what I'm doing extremely well, and I wish you all the best, and keep getting that shit from the corporations. So thank you. But could you see it from like if I were a high-level marketing man at, say, Sanyo Electronics, right, and then I got a phone call from Kindness Offensive saying I want 2,000 iPods or whatever from Sanyo, MP3 players, right. I might go, we can get in the newspaper with them holding Sanyo boxes in front of all these people smiling. It's the best advertising you could possibly do, which is my concern with the whole...
No, but we think that people are being good, and they deserve the advertising. They deserve the credit. We've got to change these companies. They're not going to stop doing what they're doing. They're not going to pack up and say, right, we're not doing this anymore. So we need to change them and get them to actually do some good. So say, right, well, you're sponsoring a kindness offensive. Oh, well, how much is that going to cost? And so, well, you're going to give us the stuff, and we're going to give it away. You say, well, what, have you ordered the stuff? No, you're sending this stuff to us, and we're going to give it away to people. And if you can talk them into doing that, then they deserve the credit for doing a good deed. It's like if I can talk you into giving a pound to a person in the street, and you weren't intending to, but I say, oh, go on, look, the guy really is a poor guy. And you reach in your pocket and you do it. It doesn't really matter who you were before. At that moment in time, you're being a kind person. At that moment, you're benefiting from the kindness because you're feeling that guy's smiling at you. He's going, well, thanks very much. I can get something to eat with this. And you've been brought into that spirit. And that's what we're trying to do. We get General Mills to come into the spirit with a whole load of, a truckload of stuff. And now they're wondering how on earth they got involved. And it's like all this food arrived. Next thing you know, they're calling us up saying, well, we've got a bunch of pancake mix and pancake days coming up. And they say, don't mention us. We just want to do this. There's a guy there who says, you don't have to put us logos up. Don't mention us. They get mentioned because we do anyway. But they don't do it for that reason. So the guy's been turned on to the idea that this is a good thing. We need more people like that. The corporations, they won't go away, but they can be transformed.
But that's where I have to disagree with you. I think they will go away.
Well, what's going to replace them? That's the question. We're going to need people to make food. We're going to need people to do these things. Why not do it in a kind way? Why not do it in a way that is caring about the environment? Why not do it in a way that everyone can actually benefit from?
Because the whole ethos of a corporation is to minimize cost and raise profit at the expense of everything else. Because as that film showed, the corporation, they do act like psychopaths.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The corporation. So the way I see it, though, a psychopath could very easily use a wonderful movement like you guys to further their agenda, which is the big agenda, which is people buying material objects, which is trying to associate something human like kindness with something built on greed and lies and murder, which is the corporations. Like, for example, on your, sorry, I shouldn't be talking about, on your website, Nestle, for fuck's sake, Nestle, on the website, what the fuck's all that about?
Well, because
they're one of the most
they've been talked into doing something good.
Yeah, but that's like
we're saying, okay, they helped to sponsor a bus, so we're giving them credit for the fact that they did something good. Like we couldn't find any perfect companies. We looked, and there weren't any perfect companies, so we decided let's try and get as many companies as we can to donate to these things. So like all these chocolates now these people are eating, it's all arrived for free. And multiples of this has been done to the point where I think the Kindness Offensive is responsible for giving away over £2 million worth of stuff so far.
That's good. That's
And
good.
it's like getting all that stuff in, and all those people have benefited. It's made Christmas for 12,000 people. Every child in the North London hospitals got a toy.
Okay.
It's like, you know, it's done.
But the thing is that once you start dealing with corporations, like where do you draw the line? Like, would you say, for example, there was say a flood in West London, and Halliburton wanted to give you guys lots of free tents. Would you take those free tents from Halliburton?
How about I ask you a question? Would you deny the people in West London those free tents by not taking them?
I would if it was built on lies and murder.
No, but the people in West London, they need tents, right? There's a flood, so they're homeless. Halliburton, we happen to have a line of communication with them.
Well, I find
no, but would you look those people in the eye in West London and say, I didn't take these tents that you need right now because of my moral principles about this company?
That's a very, very good question.
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
No, but you'd have to answer though. The thing is, it's easy to throw this stuff out there, man. But if people need stuff, like we feed hungry people. You go and meet these guys who haven't had lunch, and you tell them that you're not going to take the food because of like some. No, man, you got to change it one can of beans at a time, one tent at a time.
But coming back to these people who are hungry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just to add to what he's saying, just before winter, when these people are hungry, we're able to stock every soup kitchen in London. Every soup kitchen in London. The company, now we're going to look at that company and say, well, that's a very kind gesture, and we'll give them credit for the kind gesture. They were part of a kindness offensive. These people, when they were asked, they responded positively, so they get their logo on our site, thanking them for that fact. Now, the opposite of that would have been to turn them down because not all of their human rights records were 100% or whatever. Now, in this case, you know, what do? You let them be good. Am I going to say to you, no, don't help that person because I don't like what you've done in the past? I should look at what you're doing now. I think we should all get into that. What's happening now?
I think we do kind of agree, like you guys and me. It's just that we're looking at different parts of the reality bubble. You raise a very good point about would I deny those people the tents in West London. But the point is, it's like we can take any layer we want, and the top layer, or a higher layer, is why do we live in a system where people might be denied tents apart from having to go to a murderous
That's a fair
corporation?
question, but here's the thing. We are where we are, we live where we live, and the resources are taken by the people they're taken by. So if you want to get those resources, if you want to redefine what's going on, if you want a different take on materialism, you gotta to quote that film The Avatar, you want to fly with a banshee, you gotta go with a banshee, hoorah. Do you know what I mean?
Nobody ever put Robin Hood down for stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Everyone sees that as a good thing.
Yeah, but for example, if you guys went and, like, say, in the middle of the night, raided a Halliburton store and stole those tents, that's more Robin Hood.
We figure talking them into handing them over for free is a bit more stylish. And more to the
but then
point, it's really quite funny.
Halliburton gets lots of press. They get their logo on their website. They get to.
But here's the thing, though: if you get acknowledgement for being good, that's a very incentive to try being good again. If you get only vilified for being nasty, man, that pushes you into a corner. We've got to give these guys a foothold and to be able to walk out of where they are.
We won't say on a radio show, for instance, that we support what they're doing. We'll say we don't support what they're doing. We don't like what they're doing. We'd like to see them change. We'll out them on the radio after they've given us tons of food. But we'll say, with the tons of food they gave us, now that's a step in the right direction. We like that. We understand the distinction that you're making. We have studied this really carefully before we started to attack it. Yeah? It's a very, very thin line to walk down. But we do understand it. And it's nice of you to point it out because it makes it clearer to us just how well we understand it. And it's like letting these people know that they still can be good. That everyone has a chance. That it isn't good isn't for one corner. Good isn't for this area, not that area. They all have the opportunity. We call up and say, here's your chance now. Here's what we need. We need 25 tons of food.